Okay, so we're continuing with the Cosmos demo now. We're going to look at the BP navigation part and some parts of Neural Hub, which I know CJ is particularly excited about. So CJ, if I hand over the screen to you, you can take it away.
Sure thing. So let's actually start with the business process navigation first. So we saw in the previous demo from Chris about how you can manipulate a business process, which is great, but how do you actually use it? So in the business process section, we just go to one we built up a little earlier. Your processes will exist here. Now I'm only in staging, so we're just messing around here. And I threw in just some dummy data on a particular process. We'll be able to see everything that's in here. One thing that we allow you to do is choose what columns you want to see. Right, so we just click this columns thing, and you can have a whole bunch of them here, right? You can view what's going on in here, and you actually get a quick visual representation of a very, very noddy little process that I just threw together. And you'd also see entries of data here as well. Your actions are determined by the states that you defined. So you can move from one specific task to the next, right? It's really helpful to understand exactly what's going on and how things work. At any point, especially if you are with a partner and the partner's having issues or you've got a problem, your administrator will indeed be able to alter the state and move you forward and backwards in there if you need to. We also get to see, and we've obviously seen a diagram. We can also see a very, very quick overview of the diagram. It's super rough in here, and it's not meant to be a full-blown editor. You can actually hit edit the BPMN and take you into that specific editor for this message and edit it. You get to see the change and you get to come back. But that's a demo for another time. We're short on time today, so we're just showing this real quick. Of all of these that you have, when you are working through, we can also highlight, hey, there's something new that's appeared here, and you've got 3 actions or 2 actions or something that's it's ready for you to work with. Right, I guess that'll do us on the business process one. Was that short enough on time?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Right, do you want to just take a 2-second sort of gap for cutting before we do Neural Hub?
Yep. So I will just. Should I take the screen again?
Sure thing. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, we got it.
Get some water.
Okay, and that's brilliant there, CJ. So let's have a look at part of Neural Hub now, if we may.
Okay, so let's dive into the Neural Hub. So Neural Hub, as we know, is all about...
You need to take the screen there, Chris. You got it? Yep, perfect.
Yep. So, like I say, Neural Hub is all about integrations, right? And its ability to move things around from A to B. Now, unlike a typical Middle West solution, which stops at the edge, we know that we don't actually have that in Neural Hub. We cover the last mile and we go right to Cosmos. The way we work here is a no-code solution. And so you drag your nodes in and you create connections. So you don't need to worry about, oh, crikey, how do I write the code to do that? You just connect things together and everything's super configurable. So we can quickly see here that I'm actually connected into a primary database. This is my table. These are the fields I'm interested in. This is what the query would look like. And I can put in any conditions that I want as well. I don't want any in this particular scenario. When we're then looking at this and it's like, well, I've got to build it, deploy it, test it, find it didn't work, and then go through that endless cycle, which takes forever and is a huge drain on a project because of the time that it takes to get there. Well, we didn't want to have any of that, so we're going to simulate this. Now we can simulate all the starting nodes that's in here. You just click that one. Starting nodes are a green one, and we can see that the process is already flowing through, right? Now, if we were to look at a particular point, let's say we look here, I'm going to add a watch there, open that a little, and I'm going to zoom right in. At any point, anywhere in here, you can add watches to see what's going on, and this is the exact data that was flowing through the system. And I use notes just to help not only visually comment the code so I can see what's going on, I also use it for navigation. So I can either click all the way over here to the bits that I'm working on, like I've written some stuff down there, comments that I do here for when I'm looping through certain things, or just to make things easy, I can also jump to, let's just go to the get files at the beginning. And I navigate over here. So we can not only visualize our code, we can quickly jump to sections without breaking anything, and we can constantly simulate data. And it does, in this particular case, gets to the end, starts again, and just keeps going. Now here I'm just getting a file or getting stuff from a database. But you can start from messages that you have in a variable or anything else that you want to use. And you will always see this go through, and it reacts to the code that you change when that little pulse gets there. So when you see these little dots flying along this little pulse of data, whenever that gets to a node, it executes the node, the config, whatever is there. At that point, you go and make a change. It reacts to that change when it gets there. You don't need to build, deploy, test, endless loop until you eventually square it away. You see all here. You go from months of building unit test to days of building unit test because it's here all in one. All right. I think that will do that one. Or did you want more?
Give us more if you got more, CJ. Give us more.
Okay. Right then. Let's add some more really cool things in here. We have a mapper node. Now, the mapper node is very akin to what people see in Sterling. So you can go into it, and you can see the data that would flow through. Now, actually, I've turned the simulate off. Let me simulate that again, and you'll see things come through. So we can also, on any connection, oh, I've got subflows in here. So let's go into subflow. I can, on these, add watches if I need to. So this particular constant value, oh, I've stuck it up on the other side. This particular constant value was sending a UNA, and I see that it's already of type string, so I don't need to worry about string and numerics and things like that. I've got one node for this. I can now, at a very, very low granular level, identify what is exactly happening and the logic that's going on in case things don't quite work. So it can be really, really frustrating when you're trying to work out why didn't something work the way I expected it to. Well, now I know, because I can do that here. Let me just collapse that section out. I'll just call it collapsed group. And to save space, we can also collapse these out and expand them up later, should I want to expand that group, and I can see it all again. But the mapper, it's just another mapper, right? What's new? Why do I want Neural Hub? Well, we give you all sorts of really cool things in here. Capabilities, which is currently one of the things that we're looking at. A capability is a very complex piece of functionality to make things quite simple for you. Imagine that your company has grown, whether it be quite organically or it's grown from acquisition. You've got a lot of data. You've got a lot of data sources. And the problem that you get is that you get data that it doesn't link up anymore, and your data integrity is kind of a bit poor. A good example, you know, you might have a customer who's got the name Olaf, and that's exactly how it's spelled, OLAF, just a capital O without an umlaut. And other tables, maybe from our European colleagues, actually, yes, we know it's an O with an umlaut. We're going to put that on there. It's the same customer, but that's two different pieces of data, and they are all over the system, all like this, where you've got this data integrity just kind of starts to fall apart. Within capabilities, you can have a data governance. You can effectively give out your data sources, tell it what rules you use to match data, the single sources of truth to use, and it will then go and either update the data for you in your tables or provide you the necessary SQL scripts or scripts for Oracle or your database of choice. Then you can execute those when you need. And we also give you the script to roll back to get to the previous state in case you went, oops, I didn't mean to change that one customer. So we allow you to do the work of a whole team, a whole department of people whose only job is just to look at data and fix it. All of that months and months that it takes, especially on massive projects, we give you it in a node for you to use.
That's really cool. So clearly we've just seen a small function of what Neural Hub can do. We've unexpectedly seen some of the capabilities point of view, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, really interesting there, CJ. Yeah, we're going to look at message validator in a second, but yeah, thank you very much, CJ. It's good to see some of that. Clearly, we're going to be going into a greater length demo on the whole of Cosmos at another point. But for now, thank you very much.
Indeed.
Thank you.